Today's conversation explores a question that most people never think to ask, but it sits at the foundation of everything we believe about ourselves. And that question is, what does it actually mean to be human? Because a lot of modern systems, especially around mental health, are built on assumptions about how the mind works, what consciousness is, and how we function as people. But what if those assumptions are incomplete or even based on misunderstood definitions? Today, I'm joined by Sam Kneller, who approaches this question through the lens of biblical Hebrew, specifically Genesis 2:7, which describes the breath of life and what it means to be a living being. His work focuses on unpacking the original language to explore whether ancient texts might offer a more precise understanding of concepts like mind, body, and identity. So today we're going to explore how definitions shape understanding, how language influences perception, and whether re-examining foundational texts can change how we think about mental health and human function. Thank you. Thank you. Now, what does Genesis 2:7 actually say?
Well, Genesis 2:7, the verse says, "And God formed man from the dust of the earth and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul." That's the word for word verse.
Okay. Okay. Now, what do you think is commonly misunderstood about that verse?
Practically everything. So we get now to Genesis 2, verse 7, and particularly the breath of life. And in Hebrew, that's nishmat chaim. In actual fact, in Hebrew, and here's already a little difference, it doesn't say the breath of life. It says the breath of lives, plural. Chaim, Elohim, God's, it's plural, you know. So the question, one question we could ask about Genesis 2:7 is, why does it say breath of life, plural? So breath, and this was the key, is neshama in Hebrew. All right. And so one of the questions that I asked myself is, why does this verse use neshama? Why does it say that God breathed neshama into the first human? Why doesn't it say he breathed ruach into the human being? All right? Because straight away, what we do see is that we have a physical component for neshama, breath, okay? But we also have non-physical components like inspiration and especially spirit. So straight away, we have to understand, or we have to try and come to the understanding of what the story of neshama is. And so that was the study. And that study led to Job 32, verse 8, where it says, God, spirit, God gave the spirit, the ruach, and also his neshama, his breath, which gives us humans understanding. And so this is what the neshama does. It gives us understanding. It gives us comprehension. It gives us the ability to perceive. What neshama is, it's consciousness. And that is what Genesis 2:7 says. Right? And the consciousness that God imparted to that first human is his neshama. So it's God's consciousness. We have this divinity of this neshama, God's neshama in us, God's consciousness in us. And this is where the mental is, because as soon as we start talking about consciousness, we're talking about mental. And so this is the clarity that we must have as a proper foundation for treating mental health. Unlock Scripture's core meaning with Biblical Hebrew made simple. No reading, no memorizing. Get your free mini course now. theexplanation.com/naked.